Hello, my name is Alana McVey. I'm a postdoctoral scholar at the University of Washington. I am a white cisgender woman with brown hair. I'm wearing a cream-colored blouse with flowers on it and an olive-colored blazer and olive glasses. Today, I'm going to present access to dialectical behavior therapy in the community for autistic young adults for the ARP Research Day at Autism CARES 2023. Recent research has shown us that many autistic adults have suicidal thoughts and behaviors, or suicidality, and non-suicidal self-injury, or self-harm. Dr. Marsha Linehan created dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT, for these concerns, chronic suicidality and self-harm. But we don't know what it is like for autistic adults who try to access DBT in the community. The purpose of this study was to learn about autistic adults' experiences accessing treatment that works for suicidality and self-harm, and we focused on DBT. I conducted qualitative interviews with autistic adults and DBT clinicians and clinic leaders to find out about their experiences. This study is part of a bigger project that will redesign DBT for autistic young adults. On this screen, there is an image of 4 circles in a row. The first circle has the word discover in it, the second, design, the third, build, and the fourth, test. There is a bidirectional arrow between the design and build circles. This image represents the discover, design, build, test framework that I am using to redesign DBT for autistic young adults. Here I'm presenting preliminary results from the qualitative interviews I conducted. In our analysis, we are finding barriers and facilitators at 3 levels. At the clinic level, so this includes things like clinic policies, clinic marketing, the location of the clinic and transportation available to access the clinic, as well as the insurance that the clinic accepts. At the clinician level, this includes competence in working with autistic adults, knowledge about autism, as well as views or biases about autism, clinicians' access to training in working with autistic young adults, accommodations that they're willing and able to provide or know to provide in the clinic setting, and communication differences between the clinicians and clients. At the client level, this includes motivation for treatment, cognitive style, emotional awareness and experiencing, and communication differences, again, between the clinician and client. In conclusion, autistic adults run into barriers accessing mental health services for suicidality and self-harm. This is something we already know from the literature that we're confirming here. Factors may play a role at the clinic, clinician, and client level individually and also together. So for instance, we know that differences in communication between the client and clinician is something that's happening dynamically in that dyad. We need strategies to reduce these barriers for autistic adults so that they can access needed services for suicidality and self-harm. Future studies will redesign and test DBT for autistic young adults, hopefully reducing some of these barriers. My research project involves inclusive research practices in the following ways. First, in designing this preliminary study, I consulted with an autistic social worker who provided immense help in terms of the inclusion criteria for the study, as well as feedback on the qualitative interview script that I used. In the second study that I'm currently conducting, I am working with community collaborators, an autistic adult, as well as a DBT clinician. I'm also consulting with a group of autistic DBT clinicians. In future phases of this work, I will assemble a community advisory board of autistic adults and DBT clinicians and clinic leaders. In the next steps of this project, I am currently conducting the second part of the discover phase. So we are conducting 2 sequential demonstration studies that will identify the aspects of DBT that should be maintained, redesigned, or removed to optimize treatment for autistic young adults. From the Autism CARES ARP Research Day, I'm looking forward to feedback from other researchers regarding insights on these initial study findings and how they might inform my planned future research. On this slide, I provide my funding acknowledgement. Here are my references. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Please contact me with any questions you have about this work.